Good morning, yogurt makers, and welcome back to my channel. So listen, it's been a while since I've done a yogurt making tutorial, how to make yogurt. And it is early Monday morning. I usually make yogurt on Sunday nights, and then I get up on Monday morning and I have fresh yogurt. Well, I totally forgot all about it last night, but I'm gonna make it this morning. I'm gonna start the process this morning, and then I'm just gonna leave it to incubate. And when I come home from work, it'll be ready. Truthfully, it'll be ready at about noon, but I won't be here at noon because I'll be at work, but I'm gonna show you what the process is. Okay, so first I started off with basically a big wide mouth mason jar, and I put 1 cup of powdered milk, just like regular powdered milk that you get from the grocery store, any brand, it doesn't matter. This is how you make Greek yogurt, if you like that nice thick yogurt without having to drain it. The way you make it nice and thick is by starting with powdered milk and then whatever dairy milk you like. This is not a non-dairy recipe. I have non-dairy recipes over at onebrownmom.com. This is a recipe for cow's milk, goat milk, any sort of dairy, sheep's milk, I would imagine. Any sort of dairy milk, you can use this recipe. So I used 1 cup of powdered milk to make the Greek yogurt. And then I just filled this largemouth mason jar. What is this, about 2 quarts, a quart? I don't know. Whatever this size is, the large ones. I filled this up with milk, and then I microwaved it for about 3 minutes. I wanted to get to 110 degrees. Here's the thing. If you're using a thermometer, which you should absolutely be using, you have to be really careful and keep an eye out for what that temperature is. If you go over 110 degrees, you're going to kill your yogurt starter, and then your yogurt is never going to set. So that's something to watch out for. But I microwaved this. I got it a little bit too warm. That's okay. I can let it cool back down to 110 degrees before I add my yogurt starter. Now, the yogurt starter that I use is this one that I got off of Amazon, and it's Yo Gourmet starter. And this one, it tells you right on the box, it incubates in just 4.5 hours. You can leave it incubating for longer than 4.5 hours, and it'll give you that deeper, richer, yogurty taste. Makes it a little bit tart, but should not make it bitter. If your yogurt is bitter, something has gone terribly wrong. Unless you like it bitter, in that case, enjoy your bitter yogurt. I don't like it bitter. So once this milk is down to, I need it to be between 100 and 110, not more, not less, right there in that sweet spot, 110 degrees. And then I use one of these little envelopes of yogurt starter. I'm going to add it right into the milk and then just stir it up really good. And then we'll incubate the yogurt. But right now we're waiting for the temperature to come down. So I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when my milk is at the right temperature. Okay, so now my milk is down to 110 degrees. I was a little bit impatient, and so I used a trick to cool down my yogurt, and that is that I take a spare jar, and I poured the milk, the hot milk. It's not crazy hot. 110 degrees is like the temperature of bath water, basically. I poured the milk from the original jar into this jar and then poured it back, and it just lets a little bit more air get to the milk and helps cool things down faster. And I did that twice, and now I'm exactly at 110 degrees. I don't know if you can see that, but we're right at 110, which is where we need to be. So I took my little packet of yogurt starter, and really you can use any kind of yogurt starter, and I'll give you more information about that in just a second. But in the meantime, I'm gonna I put the yogurt starter in here just so it's a little bit easier. I'm gonna sprinkle my yogurt starter into the yogurt, into the milk, and stir it up really good. Let's make sure it gets all dissolved in there. And it's all dissolved. Now I'm ready to go. Putting the lid back on the jar, and now I just need to incubate the yogurt. Hang on, let me grab my yogurt container. Okay, so for this yogurt making process, I'm using a non-electric yogurt maker. If you use an electric yogurt maker, it's all the same, but for this particular yogurt maker, you fill it with hot water, just hot tap water, not boiling water. I filled it up to the top When I start my yogurt making, the first thing I do is get out my yogurt maker, fill it with hot water just from the sink, and then I just let it sit. So while I'm heating my milk, I'm also heating my yogurt incubator. I pour out all that hot water, and next I put my jar of yogurt inside of my yogurt maker, put the lid on, and that's it. Now that yogurt will just sit here right here on my counter and incubate for the next 4.5 hours. And then when I come home from work or later this afternoon, the yogurt will be done. And I'll show you a picture of the finished product. So the yogurt is now incubating and ready to go. There's really nothing else for me to do. It's literally that easy. Nice, thick Greek yogurt that has only the ingredients that I chose, the ingredients that I wanted in it. So no additives, no preservatives, nothing like that. It's just milk and powdered milk and yogurt starter. So I get lots of questions on this channel about when people have problems, when their yogurt doesn't set, when it doesn't come out right. And I have an entire video about problems with yogurt making and problems that are, most of them are fairly easy to solve. A lot of it has to do with the temperature. If you don't get those temperatures right, your yogurt is not going to set. I'm going to include a link to this particular yogurt starter and that yogurt maker. It's spelled Keolia, I think. I'll add a link to all the products that I use here. I'm not getting paid by these manufacturers to advertise their products. This is just legitimately what I use. So in terms of yogurt starter, a lot of people, if you live in the United States, you're not going to have trouble, in most parts of the United States, you're not going to have trouble getting access to Amazon or getting access to this kind of yogurt starter or whatever. But I get a lot of questions from people around the world who don't have access to Amazon and who don't have freeze-dried yogurt starters available to them. And honestly, don't worry, it's not a problem. So if you don't have a packaged yogurt starter, and sometimes I use packaged and sometimes I use fresh yogurt starter. And the way you do it is this. You go to whatever your market is and you find a container of yogurt from the store. What you want is a plain yogurt, not a blended one. You don't want one with fruit or anything already blended in it. And you have to look at the label near where the ingredients are. And you need one that says live and active yogurt cultures. That's what you're looking for, those live and active yogurt cultures. That's what's in here. That's all you need. So you take, after you mix up your milk and your powdered milk, if you just want plain yogurt, not Greek, then leave out the powdered milk or add less powdered milk. And I don't know if I said it, I add 1 full cup of powdered milk. That's for very thick yogurt. If you like it less thick, you play with a little bit, you use 1/2 cup of powdered milk, 1/3 cup of powdered milk, whatever works for you. But you go to your local market, and you find yogurt, plain yogurt, not blended, nothing else mixed in it, that has live and active yogurt cultures. You mix up your yogurt base, you heat it to temperature, you cool it down to that 110 degrees, between 100 and 110 degrees, and then you take a big heaping tablespoon of that yogurt with the live and active yogurt cultures, you stir it in, and that's your yogurt starter. It's just that easy. Honestly, you only have to buy yogurt starter once, because once you have a batch of yogurt and it came out really nice, it's perfect just the way you like it, before you serve it to your family, the first thing you do is you take 2 or 3 tablespoons, you put them in a cup or an ice tray and you freeze them. And then those become your yogurt starters for the next time you need to make yogurt. So once you have a good batch, save some and you can keep using it over and over and over. A key tip though is before you use a frozen starter, when you start to preheat your yogurt container, take that yogurt starter out and put it in a bowl or a cup or something. Just leave it sitting on the side of your counter and let that thaw. Because if you add basically a block of ice to your milk that's already at temperature, you're going to drop the temperature too low. And really what that incubator does is hold that yogurt at a steady hold that milk at a steady temperature for the 4 hours or for the 12 hours or however long you're incubating until you get yogurt that is in just the right consistency. This is basically a science project. And so if you're a beginner, there's going to be some trial and error. Now, if I am an advanced yogurt maker, I've been making homemade yogurt for years. If you feel more comfortable using an electric yogurt starter and an electric yogurt maker, no problem. In fact, that's even easier. If you use those ultra pasteurized milk, like Fairlife milk, there's a couple of them, but right on the package it says ultra pasteurized milk. I like Fairlife just because it has a lot of extra protein in it. If you're using those ultra pasteurized milks, then all you do is take the cold milk, mix in your yogurt starter, pour it in an electric yogurt maker. Now, the reason that works is because the electric yogurt maker will heat the milk up to 110 degrees, and then it will hold it there for the duration of the incubation. So you can mix cold milk, yogurt starter in an electric yogurt maker and make yogurt no problem. A lot of people call that Instapot yogurt making. I don't have an Instant Pot. In fact, you can see my kitchen's not that big. I don't have room for like a bunch of extra appliances, so I don't own an Instant Pot. But it occurred to me that I could do the same thing, only without the Instapot. I don't have to buy, extra equipment or whatever. Initially, when I first started making yogurt, I didn't have a yogurt maker. I didn't have this little thermos incubator that I use now. I just made it in my microwave. I would mix the powdered milk, the yogurt starter, everything together, get it at the right temperature, put it in a mason jar, put the top on it, and I would wrap it in a bunch of towels and shove it in my microwave, and then I would tape the door closed, and I would put a note for my family that said, yogurt making in process, do not disturb. And I would leave it sitting in there overnight, so 8 to 12 hours, and in the morning, I had fresh yogurt. It worked every single time. The reason that I stopped doing that is that because I have late night eaters, and so they would I don't want anybody opening that microwave. But if you have a warm enclosed place where you can hold something at your yogurt, your milk at that temperature for a long period of time, you honestly don't need a yogurt maker. The big key is that temperature. Keep everything at 110 degrees, or between 100 and 110 degrees, and you're golden. You'll have yogurt in the morning. I will be back today after work, and I will show you how my yogurt comes out. Have a great day. Before we open this and find out how we did on our yogurt, there's a couple things I need to tell you. First of all, this non-electric yogurt making canister is available on Amazon. They're not paying me to say this. This is just the one that I use. And I put the links in the description of this post. Also, there's a bunch of different yogurt starters out there just for ease and so that I don't have to keep posting it over and over. The link for the yogurt starter is also in the description. If you go to that link and you can't find it, or if the link is broken or something like that, I don't know how much longer after I make this video you'll be watching it. So if for some reason the link is not working, just make a comment and let me know, and I'll update the link and I will send you a new link. Okay, let's see how we did. Okay, it's after work. Let's see how we did with our yogurt. Taking it out of the container. What do we have? Friends, we got yogurt. There it is, all yogurted up. Now, what I need to do is put this in the refrigerator overnight. I mean, usually you could just eat it just like this. This is unsweetened yogurt. Let me raise this up a little bit. This is unsweetened yogurt. So to sweeten it, I can add powdered sugar, I can add agave syrup, I can add nothing, fresh fruit, honey, homemade granola, whatever you like, but the yogurt is good to go. I put it in this morning before I left for work. I just got home from work and it's all set. So I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator to stop it from incubating, and then later this evening, after it's cooled down, I'll have granola for my yogurt and fresh fruit and granola for my late night snack. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.